Hello. Oh, is the stream working properly? Because it is a little bit stuttery here. As you can see in my replay, you can see if I move this around on the screen, you can see how stuttery it looks for me. Oh. It's working? Is it working? Good. Kangafango, hello. And Kangafango apparently greets Albastro and Slovak Eagle. Hello. Karate kick? I don't know. Hello. Yeah, sure. Hey, Z's. No, not yet. Not yet. I've still got work to do before I go to sleep. Right. Sorry, like this. Hello, favorite deep sea explorer Sharadise. Hello. Oh, it's working immaculately. Nice. Stream all fine for me. Good. But as you can see, on stream, it does actually look a little bit not great on my side. You can see how much it's jumping around. Karate kick because... Hiya! Oh, that makes sense. I thought Albastro was karate kicking while in a confused state. Have any of you ever physically touched a bathysphere? Not that I can remember. Right, so this screensaver will not be part of the DLC, by the way. You will have to pay extra to get this. Right. Righty, enough of the moving. Well, I'm gonna have to move a lot more than just the window to finish the MVR. In fact, the whole MVR is about moving things. So, let's get started. No more, quick selfie. But, oh, no more, quick selfie, but, quick karate kick? We're getting seasick. Well, then I would suggest that you go ashore. Okay, so last time we basically built most of this park. And that's it, pretty much. What I'm going to do today is finish off a few little things in the park, like painting the the ground underneath the water, and then also putting in a little bit of detail in this parking lot that goes along here, and then I'm going to put buildings along here to finish the skyline in this part of the route. So, let's get started with that. I'm going to go over to the river all the way up here to get the mud texture that I used here, because I think that would be quite fitting. And then we'll see where we go from there. Actually, I think I picked the darker one. I'm not sure that that's actually the one I wanted to pick. Actually, it should work fine, because this water is quite shallow anyway, so it looks a bit brighter than it otherwise would. Actually, no, that's too much. I don't want that much of a muddy bank. Wait, brighter? What do you mean? Yeah, the water is shallow, so the texture underneath it is more visible. It's not as dark as it otherwise would be if there were deeper water. Okay, just sort of like this. That's a little bit too much. Just a few little dabs. Oh, is the stream still online? I've got an error 1000, which usually comes when the stream is offline. Yes? Good. Just my replay then. Just my replay. Right. You go ashore. How did you know that I'm on a boat? Hmm? Yeah, that looks a bit better. And then just need to fill in the middle of it. And that looks good back there. Yeah, that are just come sometimes just comes. Is that a lake or a golf course? I mean, if this were a golf course, it would be pretty easy to get a hole in one if this were the hole. Unless, of course, you're playing from here. Underwater lake-themed golf course? Well, that's what you can build in Minecraft when we move back to the vanilla world. Oh, sorry, no, that was Terraria, where they added the golf stuff too. Although, actually, you could do it with... Do target blocks detect snowballs landing on them? Anyway, right, so that's good. Now I want to quickly finish this little strip back here with the parking lot thing. So let's quickly do that. Where did I leave the... where did I leave the splines? It was somewhere. I used them here. Might as well also grab the height. Although actually no, I didn't move these down at all. Okay, but it does look like a dark field from afar. It does a bit, yeah. Although with the better shaders enabled, you could actually see the reflections in the water, which I used to be able to have on, but then Service Pack 5 got way too laggy, and then now I can't have them on anymore. Similar to shader packs in Minecraft. I used to be able to run them in my virtual machine on this computer. Well, on this and on my own old one. And then one day, something somewhere updated, and now it no longer works. The shader packs are just completely broken for Minecraft. That's a lot of parking space. Maybe I should break this up somehow. Or maybe I should put a large building somewhere over here, like a stadium or something. Golf club prescribes members evil saucepans as... Oh, golf club prescribes members evil saucepans as golf clubs. I'm not sure what you mean by that sentence. So golf club, as in probably a group of people who like to play golf or are somehow associated with golf, they like to prescribes, not prescribe, but prescribe. Scribe meaning to write. And then, so before writing, so a golf club, so a group of people who are associated with golf, pre-write members evil, as in the opposite of good, saucepans, so as in the cooking aid, utensil thing, and that is as golf clubs. That is a very strange sentence, Kango. Come on, update. Oh, so you mean as in it? So basically, the golf club only allows for members to use just evil saucepans as golf clubs. Ah. Okay, that seems fine. I mean, I know that seems like a lot of parking. However, you won't really see... Well, for one thing, in a city like this, you would use this parking lot not just for the park, but also for the areas around here. If you imagine that all of this parking isn't just in one line, but stacked on top of each other, you'd have a parking lot about this big, and they are quite common. I think that works, even though it's not very nice. Although I do think I'm going to place a few bushes along here, just so that it's broken up a bit more. How does that work? Looks a little odd because it doesn't go all the way across. No, I preferred it better the other way. Even though it's not as interesting from far away, this just looks more normal. You don't really pay that much attention like this. Okay, so next, buildings. Let's have a look at building skyscrapers. And I am probably not going to have great gaps between them, probably just something like that. Then we'll see where this goes. Don't want too many quite modern looking buildings, although a lot of these are period appropriate, I would say. Although that one really needs to go on the other side, as that one's taller than the rest. And I do want the really tall buildings to be focused on the left side here. That needs a bit of a bigger gap there. Similar to this, probably. A little bit closer, just a tiny little bit, like that. Okay. That looks a bit modern with those spires on top. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can have it as a background object there just to give it a little bit more verticality. Although I do kind of have to increase the render distance now so that I can actually see these. At Slavic Eagle glances around with a content shriek. A content shriek. Are you still there? Come on, building load. building, computer, computer. There we go. No, that's not one I wanted to use anyway. Bum bum ba-da-da-dum ba-da-da-dum bum bum ba-da-da-dum ba-da-da-dum. Classic Scotty. Yeah. Any episode that features Scotty prominently is a good episode. That works from back here. Kind of. Hold on. Needs to be a little bit lower, I think. Ooh, actually, no, that is the other way. Ah, I see, I can't actually change that bit. But I can move it left a bit. Come on. There we go, that's probably as good as I'm going to get it. I don't nearly remember all of them, but yes. Got myself a new tote bag today. What do you mean, new tote bag? I don't know what you mean by that. What is a tote and why does it need to be bagged? I thought it would be more pretty than my plain white one that says buses.co.uk on it. Is that actually a website? Hold on. Oh, it is. Cookies, hold on. No, turn those off, turn those off, turn those off. Okay. Yeah, look, buses.co.uk, Brighton and Hove. There you go. So that did you have that so that when someone asked you, hey, do you know when the next bus is coming, you just point, look it up yourself. Tote bag, let's have a look. Oh, I see. I didn't know that that was what they were called. I would have just called it a carry bag. Apparently, it's that. There's a link. Ah, that does look nice. I like that gradient. Looks more blue than green. Yeah, I'd say probably like a bluish turquoise. I wonder why B&H took that URL. They were one of the first bus companies to get a website. Good point. So they were lucky enough to get the easiest one to remember. Promise it is green. Ah, maybe a deceiving camera then. Yeah. Now the only question is it premeditated deception or not? Because if it's premeditated, well, then that'll add another 20 years. I think it's meant to look like this. Ah, right, I see. Looks like that's some sort of a layer of green grass or mosses. And then there's a layer of snow on top, and then you've got a nice evening sky above that. Are you ready to stack some buildings, kids? No, not kids. This is not for kids. No, oh no. Be so careful what you say on stream these days. I was watching back part of the first stream that Willis joined, the Minecraft game, and it was quite nostalgic. Yeah, that's possible, especially when there are buildings in front of it a little bit as well. Which is why I got it. Yes, we are. I'm not one for rucksacks, so I prefer tote bags, but I need two. One for my general bits and bobs, and one for my ring binder folders. Ah, see, I prefer backpacks. They are much easier to walk with because you've got your arms free for things like counterbalance. Plus, a backpack isn't as easy to accidentally leave somewhere, I found. Well, I didn't have to find it because I didn't lose it, but although sometimes backpacks do get lost as well. Is this a good building to put in the corner here? Well, this one wouldn't really be good for stacking because it's got a very clear top section to it. But maybe that would be a good one to use as a transition over here for the road that's going to run along this side of the park. Along that way. Yeah, that kind of creates a nice kind of skyline there, like a height gradient. So my main one is my rainbow one with all my badges. I see. Bottom to top, it's actually a green algae ocean followed by the white cliffs of Dover beneath a purple dusk sky. Oh yeah, I agree, but they're just not my aesthetic. Ah, so you are choosing aesthetics over function. I see. Which, I mean, aesthetics have value too. Okay, what kind of tall building can I place back there? I guess I can maybe put a few of these ones together to make a wider building as well. What's the rotation here? 1, 7, 8, 9. Maybe one more. There we go. That's okay, I think. You can still see the skyline behind it even. Which is quite nice, because I don't want it to obscure it completely. Ah, there's a nice asset. Maybe we should use this somewhere. Anyway, one for General Bids, one for General Bobs, and one for Colonel Mustard. I used to have a large rucksack and a tote bag in the day. Why I had so much, I don't know. Could attach tote bag handles to a backpack. You could. Although then people might grab it as a joke. I think they'd fall off pretty soon with all that weight. Then you'd have an attachment probably. Yeah, sorry. Got carried away playing Art of Rally. Forgot to come back here. Oh, hello, Slovak Eagle. It was fun on the OpenTTD stream. I enjoyed that. And I'm just trying to find good, like, tower assets to use, so I don't just repeat all the stuff all over again. Like, I could stack these buildings, but the thing is they've got very clearly divided, like, lower half, top half sections, so I can't really stack them without you noticing it. I suppose I could reuse some of these assets over here again, like maybe that one. I've already got that one here, but maybe I can put it back there as well. Right, but I'm quite tired anyway, so don't really want to stay up any more than I need to. Yeah, and for you it's already an hour later, I think. Yeah. Art of Raleigh. Let's have a look. Ah, I see. It's kind of a toon-shaded third-person rally game. Interesting. Oh, the art style is quite nice. Yeah, OTTD was fun. Can't wait for the next week. Yeah, same. I am very much looking forward to. Actually, are there a few? Yes, there might be different versions of this building. Oh no, there really aren't, unfortunately. Oh, actually, maybe this one. Well, that's a Santa Fe one. Maybe I can stack two of these on top of each other. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the monorail, well, to the maglevs. But the thing is, when the monorails got unlocked, I was debating whether I should just replace the entire network with monorail. But then I thought that when we unlock the maglevs, I'd have to do that all over again, because the monorail won't be, basically won't be permanent. It won't be the final thing we unlock, and so I didn't do that then. But now that we've got now that when we'll have the maglev, that will be the final thing. So if I do upgrade it all, I won't have to do it again. So that's the question. Now that doesn't look good. That does not look good. You can clearly tell that that's stacked. Ma's quite tired. Next, Matt was tired anyways. Eh? Same. I'll get to fix the road. Aw. Euromodeler has created some nice looking high rises and other buildings and details that you might find helpful very recently as well. Ah. Wasn't Euromodeler the one who passed away? Wasn't that or am I mistaking that with someone, with another creator? Yeah, no, it was him. Well, oh, high rise, that's a term I didn't look for before. But yeah, I mean, if you contribute to like the assets on the DLS for this game, is it just Euromodeler the author name? Yeah. Then that art that you made is something that people will be able to enjoy for decades to come and create more things with, and that'll bring so much joy to so many people. High-rise, flat skyscraper apartment. Okay, so let's see. High-rise, and then... Oh, hold on. Is that 2 words? No, it's hold on. Do people? Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. Do people actually use the category system though? Because some people don't, and then you can miss out on assets. Let's have a look. That's an interesting thing. Darjeeling Himalayan Railway. Oh, he updated some of those assets then, I take it. Oh, loop lights. These look nice. This isn't too much to filter through. I always use the category search. Yeah, I do. I sometimes do too, but I always think, oh look, a ropeway. Ah, but yeah, I always think, what if someone made a great asset but didn't tag it properly with the categories, and then I might miss out on it. Oh, these ones. Here we go. Cityscape. I thought I searched for... Oh, these were made January last year. I think that's why I didn't find them. That's a good shout. Thank you very much for this. I'll download all of those. Oh, look, a little waterfall. Swiss waterfall, rollable. Right. Seeing all of these great Swiss assets really makes me want to make another kind of Alps themed route. Just imagine that, like putting like sort of like the similar to the Bernina Bahn or something like that. Ah. Yeah, many of them, including Rolling Stock. Yeah, he was working on an update to that route. Oh, that's sad. I believe it was EMT City and EMT Industrial, perhaps EMT Downtown, Cityscape 2. Also Skyline could work. Yeah, good suggestions. Right. Oh, there's some beautiful assets there. Ah, there's an, what's this called? Block of flats. Well, sure. Go ahead. Industrial building factory. Well, I'm not really building industrial areas anymore. Few. Hold on. EMT Town Clock Large. This asset isn't downloaded. That's the one I was looking for, Kango. It wasn't downloaded. EMT Town Clock Large. Because it was downloaded on my old computer. Okay, and these, yeah, this is almost finished, looking through. Okay, so the Cityscape assets, those were the ones I wanted to use. Let's have a look at what I've got here. Let's have a look at Town Clock. Pittsburgh Band Plus, let's go. Well, although if I did do something like that, then it would probably be like meter gauge or something. Come on, asset list. There we go. Yeah, you can see the difference in the texture quality. Now the question is, which one should I use? Because it isn't very close by. Let's see. Join forces with Brand. Build it in tier 32 together. That would be fun, but I don't have that installed, and I don't think Brand really has any patience for Trainz currently. I would check for more objects, but I recently moved my Trainz install to another empty drive so I can get onto a new CE project. A new CE project? People, look, here on the chat, there, look, Slovak Eagle said, no, don't try to hide it at the top, look. So, I can get onto a new CE project, very exciting, and clear out some other things a little. I haven't configured the game again. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, you mastered it. Also, that corner shop a bit above from Black Forest. As I said, generally searching for flat apartment, complex, skyscraper, office, cityscape, downtown, high-rise works. Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Strange, I thought it was installed. Alternative, look for Bronx, Brooklyn, Boston. Yes, I already have looked for these keywords. Double buildings. These are names of the typical architecture you see in New York, for example. It looks a bit more modern European than the other one. Does the new one have night maps too? I do believe so, yes. Clocks better visible on an old one. I think I'm going to use the old one. Well, they were for the old Black Forest route, so they are more European styled. True. I do remember the good old Black Forest route. I remember putting like a superliner consist on there, pulled by Big Boy, going through the snowy mountains on that route and just riding along in the cab view of the superliners. Anyway, let's have a look at Cityscape. Oh, there we go. Although that one, well, I suppose that might not look too modern. Let's just see what sort of buildings we have here. Ah, that is great. That one is probably a little bit too modern. So, Eagle, would you like to elaborate on the... Hold on, let me exactly quote you. New CE project. Would you like to elaborate on that one a bit, please? I am going to replace this brown building here as well, because I've got another one of that asset on the other side. Alright, I'm going to head off. Good night and see you guys. Showdice, you can overlay an actual dynamic clock over the texture one. I believe there is one just good in size to fit in it. Yes, thank you very much. I know which asset you're speaking of. Yes, good idea. Rest well, yes. Good night, bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by. It's always nice to have you. See you soon. Oh, that's a cute little baby huge building. And because between those two, look at how small that looks. But then, if you're in first person mode, like down here, and then you look at it, look, this is really quite a large building. Look at all those floors that this building has. All those rows of windows. Look at that. It's such a big building. Look at that. And then you look at the other buildings around it and you realize that actually it's just a tiny little baby building. New CE... Oh, you're still here. Alright. New CE project. Don't want to talk about it a lot because yada. not official and just started, and idea in development, but basically imagine neural network. Few central stations, and from each go a few feeder lines and stations. Ooh, sounds very exciting. I do hope that if that goes ahead, you will do a few more building streams and Trainz as well, because I did enjoy those very much, and I enjoyed being able to give a bit of feedback on and a bit of input with how the route was developed and things like that. Maybe this building would fit in here quite nicely, because if you just look at it like that, you don't really notice the... Although that's right by the black building, so there isn't really any contrast. Maybe there instead. That needs to be a little bit closer. Your modeler has made those windows really well. Yadi, not Yeti. Alright. Best of luck. Something like old big CE in mixed with CE Mini, but organized and not a loop. Yeah, well, it sounds exciting. I hope that the project actually goes ahead and that you'll have the patience and determination to actually finish it. Sounds exciting. Good night. Bye-bye. Not that I want to get rid of you, but I think that you're actually going now, so yes. Right, let's have a look at some of the other keywords that Eagle suggested. Let's look for office. Ooh, EET offices. These assets might be good, although I don't know what the poly count on these is. Let's just download all of these, literally. Sylvester, how's your day been? Been busy? It's been right, thanks. Nothing special, but I have little reason to complain. Well, I mean, that's a positive. These ones might... What's the difference? Actually, no, these are for low texture quality because they were meant for far away viewing. Are there near ones as well? Oh, not really. But these ones are a bit too modern looking anyway. You? Yeah, well, it's been pretty good. So yesterday, remember I was talking about how the shaders no longer work on Minecraft, for like the custom shaders no longer work on Minecraft for me. Well, I found an alternative to Optifine with which I might be able to run shaders, and so I tested that today. And as it turns out, it doesn't work. I think it's just the shaders. Either something with a virtual machine, or maybe a Minecraft update, or I don't know. Maybe it's a Java update. Maybe in a Java update they changed how some things work and now it no longer works over the virtual machine or something like that. With custom shaders, but it used to work. So yeah, I tried that today and tried to fix that without avail, but I did find an interesting mod, which basically puts in a loading system into the game where you can have really, really long render distances in-game, and it reduces the level of detail for the mesh so that you can actually render it without much of a performance impact. And in single player that works great. However, Kango tested it by joining a Minot server, and it's supposed to still load chunks that have been explored. However, as far as we could tell, it didn't. So I joined their Discord server and asked questions, and they suggested some things to test. And so that's part of what I did. And then I also took a nice little walk. I actually saw a steam locomotive today. It was number 4277, which is it was Hercules. I think it was a small prairie, I think is the kind, I believe. Actually, that's a bit too tall for the skyline. Hold on. That's better. Yes, that was nice. It was a really warm day today. Almost felt like summer, which I was happy about. And then I've had the OpenTDD stream, which was nice. And now the Trainz stream, which I'm really excited about to actually get some progress done. Were you? I was, yes. Ah, that's good. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, see how quickly things can change? Ah, that's good. Oh, that's a shame. I hope that these assets... Hold on, what are they? Well, yeah, that should be fine. If it gets laggy, I might look into replacing some assets. Actually, this might look good. Since this has a little bit of a higher base as well, this might look better like there. Just to fill in that gap. Although that is much too tall. It overshadows the other buildings. Oh, Code Monkey! Hello! How have you been? Right. My guess is that something made Minecraft not recognize the Parallels VM drivers as compatible, even though they would be, as it did work a few years back. But well, I've thought about it, and my best guess is that it's probably something in Java that got updated. Yeah, something that the shaders rely on, and that doesn't work anymore. That's not compatible with the virtual machine drivers. Oh hey, look, the Chrysler building. True. Number 4277, Hercules. This route's gotten greener since I last saw it. Yeah, I put in a park here and extended it a bit. You can see we've got some nice little paths with benches running through here, and some paths going around and things like that. There might also be a few Easter eggs hidden around the place. Anyway, buildings. I want these buildings to overlap a little bit so you can actually see that there is a road going back there and there are buildings back there. Small prairie? I don't think so. Those are 45XX. 42XX. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right. You've got that installed. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh yeah. 4200 class. You're right. For some reason I was thinking small prairie. Doesn't it look similar though? Ooh, are there any preserved? Hold on. No, that's not what I meant to search for. 1 second. There we go, that's what I wanted. Yeah, I mean, if you compare these two, hold on. Yeah, I mean, if you compare these two on the image, I'd say that is fairly similar. I mean, yes, you can see differences, like, for example, in the tank shape here, it goes straight across here. There's a little bit of a bump going up, and the position of the dome is differently, and here it looks a bit straighter, as the boiler diameter might be a little bit smaller on this one as well. But that looks really quite similar. Like just in general design-wise, I think. Even though on this one, on this model, the tank does go up slightly on side. And so, look, even on this one, but on this one it goes straight across. Maybe some of them were refitted? I see reshaders, Easter eggs after Easter, of course. Because it looks similar, haha. But yeah, 45XX are quite characteristically smaller. Quite a distinct shape term with those side struts on the side of the smoke box. Cylinders, pipes. Oh yeah, they're both prairies. Well, then it was a small prairie. Just not a small prairie, but it was a small prairie. Anyway, let's continue building. And these buildings I'm happy to just push into each other, just so that I can get a result that I'm happy with as you're looking from down there. Now they all get thicker, closer to the firebox, I believe. On some of those photos, I don't think it looked that way. And yeah, this is so far away that at this point I'm just looking for a variety in assets that I can use. Okay, and then I'll need to put some sort of... Actually, hold on. Is there a... background asset? Oh, not today. I need no payware. Is there a background asset that might fit? I know there's that one city one, or backdrop asset. Yeah, but those buildings are much too small. Don't want rural backdrops. Just quickly looking through here. No, it doesn't really look like it. Unless if I searched for city, but no, that's much too tricky. Big city background. No, that's not a big city background. That's just a that would not work well here. Actually, maybe if I angled this a bit, this building a bit, like so that the road is kind of merging together back behind these buildings. And maybe we can rotate these as well. Place those like that. I think that might be a good way of hiding the edge of the world. Although I do kind of have to begin with that over here, I think. So that I can then actually hide the gap from over here. Yeah, like that. I think that works. Do you know of the 7200 class large prairies? Oh yes, of course I know of the large prairies. I think Eurasia has one of those. Actually, look, it's even got almost the exact right angle. Oh, and it's got a minimum height of -50 meters, unfortunately. Do you also want a Chinatown-esque area of the city? I don't really think there's any space on it, on the map for it. You'll have to have roads going back there. And I'll just place some random tall buildings kind of back here in some of these areas that you can look through. Which this should probably go like there. Because as you're coming along the railway, you can look through there. So being able to see that in the background is quite good. And you can see through here. Yep, that's good. I really do need something more just back here to fill this little bit of space in. Maybe just another one of these ones rotated and moved down so that it looks like the building's just extended a little bit. So it's one big building back there. No, it's too tall. Maybe if I move it down a bit more. So it's just like that. And maybe moved back like this. That works well enough, I suppose. So I know I could put in the roads here now, but I don't really want to spend time doing that detail work. I want to actually finish a large part of the skyline. However, saying that, we actually, hold on, how tall is the spline again? Oh, not that tall. Anyway, yeah, I do want to put in a road going from up there along the side here, and then that's going to merge in over here someplace. Is that going to be another 4-lane one, or is that going to be a 2-lane one? I think probably a 2-lane one here. In which case I'm going to use the single yellow broken. Like San Francisco and New York City have, for example. I know, it's a good idea, but I don't really think that there's a place for it on the route here. Because, well, we've only got this little bit to build, and there isn't really any enough attention dedicated to it from a gameplay perspective to kind of warrant putting that in here. Because if the players are coming over here, they're going to either be arriving at the station, in which case, as you're coming over here, you're going to pay attention to the terminus that's approaching, and you won't really look too much over to the side. Or if you're coming out, then, well, you're just starting your journey and you want to get going, and so you're not going to pay too much attention to it either. So, yeah. Like I said, I don't really think there's a good place for it on the map. All these skyscrapers and high-rises do dwarf the station even more and more. Yeah, but that's okay, because the station was built a long time before the high-rises. Come on, please. There we go. Oh. This is just... Oh, that's not even the yellow one. Hold on. I need the yellow broken one. I getcha. I getcha. Also, those two park walls have a bit of a gap. What? Oh, you mean here? Yeah. Wouldn't they have hugged the station a bit while the city around it did? What? Wouldn't they have hugened, not hugged? No, not necessarily. I mean, if you just look at one second. Where is it? Yeah, something like, I think Union Station. Yeah, if you look at... Actually, no, this is not the right thing. Yeah, you can see in images like this, you've got smaller station buildings with the skyscrapers around it. Although maybe Union Station wasn't the one I was thinking of. I don't know which one I was thinking of. I was thinking of something different, probably. In some locations they are. The skyscrapers are. Gap detected. Deploying vegetation in 3, 2, 1. Yeah. At first I read that as deploying vegetarian in 3, 2, 1. I was like, what? How does that make sense? City. Carrots flung, nettles and blackberries and buckthorn. Oh my. Shad is true, but I get you, but the huge skyscrapers aren't really right beside the station now. In some instances they are. If I look here, I'm sure there were like I have the image in my mind that I was thinking of. I just don't quite know what it was called. I don't really want to spend too much time looking for my specific, like the specific example of what I wanted to, of the thing that I'm referencing in my mind. I can't find it. Let's just quickly look for Union Station in, hold on. Where is it? Down here. Is this? Hold on, is this not Union Square? Union Square. Oh, this isn't what I was looking for. Hold on. Union train station. No, not that tiny little thing. Why can't... Oh, that's... Where is the... Oh, Union Station down here. But no, that's... Surely that's not the one... That's not the Union Station. Did they move it? Because I thought for certain that it was... I don't know, this is taking too long. I don't want to spend this time on this. Strange. Why can't I find the station? It shouldn't be that difficult to find. Union Station. That's where? Or is that ST, Street, Union Street? Alright, STN station. Maybe like that station? Union train station. No, this is not the station I'm looking for. Why can't I find it? That is really strange. Why can I not find New York Union Station on Google Maps? Hold on. If we look here, oh, Grand Central Terminal. That's probably why, because it's not actually called Union Station. Why would I think it was called Union Station? Huh. Odd. Union. Oh no, hold on. Influence. Buildings mostly blah blah blah. New York Union Station in Winnipeg. No, that's not the New York Union Station in Houston. Huh. Maybe I was just misremembering the name. Anyway, now that we've got this information, Grand Central Station, Gamma, Grand Central Terminal. There we go. Now, if we go into layers, turn on globe view, close that, go in here. There we go. See Grand Central, this is kind of the view, that's kind of what I was thinking of. You can see the actual station building down there. And when this was built originally, when was this built originally? Hold on, where's the Wikipedia page? Hold on. Grand Central Terminal. This was built originally 1913, but in my map, the station dates back all the way to the 19th century. So that's why my station is a bit smaller than this one. But then still, if you look at the other buildings around it, you've got the Chrysler building, you've got all of these other buildings that are right there. Look, you can see the sea of skyscrapers there. And then as you go in, you've got to tilt the camera down. You can see just down in there somewhere, you've got the actual station building. Kind of nestled in between skyscrapers that dwarf it. Yeah. Anyway. Chat, and then I'll actually get to more building. Straying ever closer to inventing a full history for the built environment for this fictional city. Yes, we're getting dangerously close now. It's like the amber light has already come on. That's never a good sign. Unless, of course, the red light was previously on and it's now gone down to an amber light, in which case that is probably a good sign. Second. Yeah, so Shredder is Trainz Law Building stream series. Let's go. I'd rather you stay. No, if I did do world building, it would not be for Trainz map, most likely on stream. It would probably be for tabletop roleplay thing. But even then, if it's for a game that I intend to run with the people who would be watching the stream or would be in the stream, then I wouldn't want to have the lore building happen with them there, because then they won't be able to discover it as they're playing the game, which of course is the point. Oh, come on, please just update. I don't want to wait every time I move a spline. Tilt camera, Unicorn Station. No, I swear, Union Station, it was right here last week. They must have moved it. Moved it, I tell you. Union Station Toronto? That station is still far larger than yours. I know, but it was far nearer than mine. It's not overly tall, but broader. Unrelated. I figured out why my signal script is not working. Activate and activate node are not the same command. Ah, I see. Signal script in what context? Is it a Trainz signal, or is it like what's the context? Okay, I think that's pretty much enough detail that I need to put in the road back here. You can't go to Madagascar, Marty. It's not gonna happen. I think that some people would disagree with that. Alright, is this for trains? Sure, it's true. It does dwarf RL2. Kekfango, tragically, it's even less related than that. Oh. Okay. What's it for then? Lua for color light signaling for the other train sim. Ah, so for Dovetail Games Train Simulator, you mean? Do you make routes for DTG Train Simulator then? Also now, actually, I won't do this now because I was going to say we're going to have to figure out if we actually want a road to go across, well, along here and then have buildings on the other side, or if we want to have the backs of buildings along here. But we don't have to do that now because I want to put in the actual cityscape here. Now, I don't want there to be too many too tall buildings there because otherwise you won't be able to see the view. Back there, yes. Alright, alternative version. You can't go to Madagascar, Morty. It's just not gonna happen, alright? Try seeing things realistically once in a while. Yeah. Although you forgot the burping. Right. Or you didn't forget it and you intentionally left it out. In which case, thank you. That's the one, and not officially associated. I just don't like the existing signal behavior and fell down a rabbit hole which started with repeaters. I see. What didn't you like about the way that the signal system was originally? Please don't go into too much detail, but just broadly speaking, I mean. Not really a great way to spell it, haha. What do you mean? Alright, yeah. I know, Shout Ice, it's so you. True. True, although that applies to more than one aspect of the show. Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's sort of the height of building that I want, because then you can still see the skyscrapers back there. Although realistically, this being right next to the park would be ludicrously high land value, so you would get high rises all the way along here as well. And so it wouldn't be that realistic to have these low buildings right here in this context, I would have thought, like right on the park. However, it's, well, it's whatever I want it to be, and I want you to have a good view of the park and the buildings behind it, so that's what's going to happen. And if you don't like it, you can tell me, yeah, you can tell me on Patreon after donating. Well, tipping. Because this isn't actually a charity, so donation technically doesn't apply as far as I know. But tips, yes. Well, maybe gaps between the buildings would work a bit better as well. If I had a bit of a bigger gap. Like so. because then you can still see through, and it still looks a bit more realistic in terms of development, like land development. Yeah, I'll shave you, alright. No, I won't, but you know what I mean. Here's a tip. I would suggest offering something in return for people tipping money, but I also don't really know what that would be. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, the only thing that I could offer would either be access to the route, which I don't want to give because of piracy, or the ability to give input on the route. But that's something that I want to give for free for people watching the streams and putting all of their time and energy into the streams and keeping up with things and stuff like that. Plus, I mean, the route gets actively better by the suggestions, so I don't want to lock that behind a paywall. That doesn't seem great. And so, yeah, I wouldn't know what I could give as a bonus for people tipping there. And then it wouldn't be consistent across the platforms. And then I also don't want you to get more if you tip on this platform than on the other. And then I'd have to make sure that you know exactly what you're going to get if you tip on which platform and what you're not going to get. And then just so you can make an informed decision about where you want to tip. And that all gets very complicated then, and then I'd have to advertise the other tipping platforms on the other tipping platforms, and yeah, you can see how it's not exactly easy. How about a huge construction site somewhere? Well, we've already got one. There's already a skyscraper, well, a large building being built right here. UK repeaters are supposed to influence the aspect sequence. They didn't, and the AWS would read the wrong signal state, giving incorrect warnings. I see. And by influence the aspect sequence, you mean that it would count as, for example, if you had a danger, single yellow, double yellow, then if you had a repeater between the single yellow and double yellow, then the double yellow would be green because it counts the repeater as a signal between the two. Is that what you mean? That it should work like that, as in it should influence the aspect sequence like that? Is that what you mean? Big piles of dirt, cranes, skyscraper building site. Ah, I see, interesting. Shadows, how about blooper reels for the announcement videos? Well, there really aren't any fun bloopers. It's mostly just me either not sounding very... Usually, when I record those announcement videos, it's either the first attempt that's the good one anyway, or it's the second one. And that's mostly just me re-recording because I forgot to mention something important, and then I want to record it in one go, and so I re-record it. Or if I don't sound particularly energetic for some reason or another, then I might re-record it, but that's not something funny to watch that you would want to pay for. It's generally just either not complete information or it's boring. So don't really see why anyone would want to pay for that. Ilk, not sure, as a reward. The ilk, is that the reward? Yeah, sure, correct. Ah, I see. Yeah, I don't know enough about how UK signaling works IRL to even have noticed that. Like I did notice that the repeaters don't, at least in some of the routes that I've noticed them in, I've never noticed them trip the AWS. But yeah, I wouldn't even have known that that is an incorrect depiction of the actual thing. Actually, does that have... Yeah, this building has quite a bit of geometry up there. Don't really want that, especially not that far away. This, on the other hand, looks much more reasonable. Except for that kind of brighter base. I want to lower that down to hide that, and have it be on the ground like so. There we go. Well, you wouldn't pay for the blooper reel, you just get it as a bonus for tipping. Well, but that's not really how it works. Either, I mean, at least the way I see it, either you want to support the projects, in which case, I mean, you wouldn't really need anything in return because the support that you give is the reason why you're doing it. Or, if that's not enough, then you want to get something for paying, in which case you're buying something. And you're paying for that, because that is then clearly the deciding factor. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about deciding factors of whether someone wants to send money or not. And if we're talking about something like a blooper reel, then that what we're saying is we're considering whether or not getting a blooper reel would be the deciding factor for if someone wants to pay or not, which means if someone wants to buy it or not. And I don't think anybody would want to do that, especially for the reasons that I just said. Oh, that's the same building, isn't it? Actually, that kind of looks okay. From back here anyway. Yeah, the park doesn't look too big now. Do I like it like this? Yeah, I do. Although I still need to fill in a few gaps, like over there. You can kind of see the sky through there, and you can see that there isn't actually anything back there. I think I'll just probably place another one of this building. Kind of merge the two together. Neither. That's a Warsaw building. It doesn't matter. EU, Poland. Yeah, that's a fair point. But they wouldn't know the blooper reels will be boring before they see them for themselves. I mean... I want to build a sustainable business, not try to scam people using bad blooper reels. Which is what your idea is, basically. But no, you're right. Box of disappointment, $5. Yeah, that's what it would basically be. At this point, it's just a case of using random buildings to stuff little corners and little edges so that you can see something back there. Opens lid. Huh. Closes lid. Calls lawyer. Okay, now, do I actually like how this looks? If you imagine you've got a train down there. Looking back this way, yeah, that looks good. Especially as the buildings get shorter down there. You look over that way. I do like it. The only thing is, some of the buildings, like this one and that one, look a lot more photorealistic than others. Well, I suppose that's okay. Anyway, you come in here. I mean, if you're driving through here, you're not really going to see much of that anyway if you're like in the cab, or even if you're driving like this. You can just see the cityscape surrounding you. Encroaching ever closer. Actually, no, it's you who's encroaching ever closer. Right. Let's let's see what it would look like, what it would feel like coming in from over here. So we've got this kind of height of building. Okay. You come in. Oh, hello, Mr. Snipes. I'll read your chat message in a moment. And then you'd likely, yeah, you would already be seeing tall buildings from here with a higher render distance. And you'd have some sort of a transitional space as you're coming in over here. Right, and then you're coming into the real kind of heart of the city. Wink, wink. I need to do something with the repeating pattern of that wall, but I'm not detailing yet. Yeah, and then you come in here, and then you've got the terminus there. Oh, that's probably why I thought Union Station. Right, it's not a train station in America if there isn't a top hat resting beside a sandwich on the platform somewhere. Are you sure you're not confusing that with it's not a train station in England if there isn't a top hat resting beside a sandwich on a platform somewhere? Welcome in, yes. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. Speaking of hats, you could use the teal one from Zoo Workers Asset. I could. Just lower the human down so it's just a head poking out. I already did that. Hat! Yes. Heart of the city. Hey, didn't know that New Penzance had one of those. I mean, it did. Before the boon of man died. Okay, I do like how that looks. I do like the skyline thus far. So... Oh, right, that reminds me. I wanted to put food stalls in the park. Like, food... what am I thinking of? Like little shops that you get at... Although, would that really be... period appropriate? I don't know, maybe something like that. Having a little cafe there. Yeah, that's nice. Buster, look in the fairgrounds playlist. What? I'll bust through. Look in the fairgrounds playlist. I'm not sure what that means. I'll bust through. I'm sure you can elaborate on that. Lemonade and hot dog stands. Yeah, Actually, stand is a good thing to search for, perhaps. There's some in there. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, Charles, thank you. Yes! No! That was very... that was funny. I'm sure you can elaborate on that. I'll bust through. Yes! Kangafanga immediately after. No! I mean, this does say W.H. Smith on it. However, having like a little kind of like newspaper stand thing over here might be quite useful. Just on the main through road. Okay, let's look for stand. Greengrocer. Not sure. Don't want market stands. Oh hey, look. No, sorry. Oh hey, look. 1.20 released. Oh, there are a lot of standing people. Airport maintenance. Figure castle. Figures. No, that's all. Other stuff. Ice cream stand. Perhaps. Almost through the list. That is not exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, I think having that little cafe and those little stalls there, I think that's plenty. Just a little bit extra detail. I don't really want market stalls. Like these are supposed to be permanent fixtures in the park. Abaster, go ahead then. Yeah, do go ahead. Please. Flower stand. Greengrocer. I think there was a textile one too. I know, but those are market things. I don't want there to be a market in the park. 1.20 released, and thus users took the pump? Something like that. Looks like it. Anyway. Let's do some more broad stroke stuff. Do I want there to be buildings going right up to the tracks here? Like, for example, this one. I could have that building there, and then have a wall of some description. Let's try maybe the one that I put around the gas station. Oh no, that's the wrong point. I was meant to go over here. Yeah, so let's see. If you imagine basically this going around here, something like that. then we could have buildings going pretty much right up to that. So, like this. And the road would go on that side. And then the road could come up like that. Is that good, or is it better if... It's better if there were another road just paralleling the tracks. I think... Oh, I don't know. This just kind of makes it feel a little small. No, I don't like this. I like it better with the road being adjacent to the tracks, because that way that gives it more width and a broader feeling. It makes it feel more substantial, which is what I want. I'll give it the same sort of distance as on the other side. Come on. Maybe if you put the ice cream stall on the main path, maybe next to the adjacent intersection on the other side of the path. Do you mean where the benches are? No, I like this is it's better because you have people on this plaza and standing around doing stuff, and I prefer it like this. Please don't miss it if you're going past the clock tower on the path. I don't think you'll miss it. It's got a big ice cream cone on it. But a gas station? That's a game show name if I've ever heard one. 15:04, 2023, 23:41. Oh, sorry, that was my clock. Disregard. Your clock is hooked up to the Twitch chat API? Of course, how else do you think Hango knows when to call the Minecraft streams short after 3.5 hours? It always wants to connect with Twitch chat, but haha, no. Yeah, that's fair. XD. Come on. And then I'll have to think about having side streets going off back there as well. Similar to how I've done it over on this side. Although I probably won't have to do too much because we've got this long block there. So maybe if we just have one going off in the middle and then having this connect up to the other road and maybe one going down that way. It even fits because we're in New York. Just thought of this. In City Pass Simulator 2010, New York, they didn't include Central Park. Yeah, I mean, Central Park apparently wasn't on that line. Because it was pretty much only one line, wasn't it? Like one bus line that it focused on. Or any parks, for that matter. Right? Can't remember any at least. Oh yeah, one line. Truey. Truey? Well, truey to you too. Truey, Cornwall, hahaha. Actually, I am going to extend this spline slightly further so that I can then put in the intersection properly. I want it to be kind of lined up with the middle of this-ish. So it would likely be about there. Going back quite far to about here, I think that's a good length, and having buildings, a few buildings there to block that off. Okay, sidewalk. If only the splines would load in properly. There we go. I think it's because I've got so many splines here. Come on. There we go. Now I need to move it a little bit, but again, gotta wait for it to update. That's good enough. Wait for it to update. Oh, did they make a SP6 after all? No, sadly they didn't. Come on. I know I'm not talking a lot, but there's not really much I can talk about when the game isn't actually updating the assets properly. And I've got to constantly wait every time I try to actually build something. No, it's too late for Doctor Who. No, that wasn't meant as a comment on the franchise. No, I was just talking about like stream time wise. how does that look? I've got to quickly change menus. Pretty good, except that this isn't straight enough. This needs to be straightened out a little bit more. Although now I don't know if which spline point I moved. Did I move the horizontal one? Did I move the... Yeah, I moved the correct one. Good. Tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe. If there's good enough reason to do it. Also, one thing I am looking forward to is when the MVR is done, I will have more time available, so more streaming slots available. So I'll be able to do MISC games streams again. And I've got quite a few games that I wanted to play on that, but haven't been able to do yet. I just hope that they don't lag too much on like as they're being streamed, that it actually work. I'd also like to do a bit more Planet Coaster and also City Skylines, because I got a whole bunch of the DLCs when they were on sale a while ago. Q. Oh yeah, sound effects. But first, to finish building and testing and yeah, I mean, in terms of the development, yes, but that won't be on stream. Like, because when I finished building the scenery on this little bit here, basically from, oh, I don't want to be in this tab accidentally, because that's a painting tab. So when I finished building the scenery, basically from here to there, and when I put in little details, like finish detailing this with roads and stuff. When this is finished, then the MVR, the scenery of the MVR, will basically be feature complete at that point. And then it's only a question of me basically doing a few tedious tasks, like putting in frogs on all of the on all of the junctions, and putting in signals everywhere and double checking that the signals all actually work, and adding in baseboards in the mountains so you can't see the back of baseboards if you've got a high render distance, and updating some of the old scenery to feature more speed trees and to put speed trees along the rivers, for example, stuff like that, which isn't exciting. But yeah, so though that stuff I'll do off stream. I will make at least one session on stream. That is a thing that I will do. Probably a few sessions, because like a passenger session, a freight session, maybe a switching session or something like that, because that is good educational content as well for people who make routes in trains themselves and don't really know how to make sessions, because when I first started making sessions back in Trainz New Era, I had no idea how any of it worked, and it took me so long to figure out how the navigation markers work and how scoring points, I only found out how those work when I made the Coleman Mountains Railroad. It was originally I thought that scoring points I didn't really see the point of them. Yes, pun intended. So originally for the Coleman Mountains Railroad, I didn't want to include scoring, because I thought, well, why do you need it? Because either you're going to succeed the session or you're going to fail the session. Why does there need to be a gradient? And then I talked with Slovak Eagle about it, and then I thought about how in Dovetail Games Train Simulator, the points are very much important to keep you from speeding or to make sure that you actually pay attention how you're driving. And so I thought, okay, well, let's figure out how the scoring system works and let's put scores in the sessions, which is why which is why the sessions had scoring systems when I submitted them. Now, the likelihood that the CMR would have actually been released without scoring systems in the sessions is very low, because during beta tests, people would have likely complained that the sessions don't have scores. And so that's when I would have added them likely. But yeah, so that is something that will happen. However, I want to make those sessions when the route is actually complete, which means I'll have to do the off-stream work before I can make the sessions. And so that's why I'll have the extra streaming slots for Mist and stuff like that before I do those sessions. So basically right after I finished building scenery in this little area that you can see now, which will not take too long. It might take too long, but not too long, yeah. And game dev. Yes, game development, that's another big one, because I did really enjoy streaming the Ghostly Venture game development stuff in Unity, only there were issues with that. Like with that specific case. I didn't really have, like the biggest one was I didn't really have the time to dedicate to it off stream to be able to make significant progress in the game. And so I didn't really have time to do the tedious stuff off stream, like texture work or stuff like that. And so that was all done on stream, and because of that it was kind of, it didn't feel like I was making progress. And so along with not having the time for it, I did kind of lose motivation for that project because of it. However, now I would plan that a bit differently, and it would hopefully go better. Although if and when I do more game dev streaming, it would most likely not be Ghostly Venture, but rather a different prototype game that I'm currently working, well, I say currently, that I semi-recently started working on and haven't been working on for a little while because of time reasons, but yeah, basically. Well, not necessarily testing, just the route and sessions. When it's submitted, I don't think Trainz will do more MVR streams. Yeah. When it's submitted, probably not. Although I might do one when it's actually released, like as a preview stream or something. Playing through some of the sessions. It's about as outrageous as a panda in a bamboo field. Outrageous or outraged? Pun intended. Sir Willard of Chutney. Well, that sounds like a character from, like a British character, so it sounds like one from the Third Rail Electric route. Maybe he was instrumental in the railway's construction in the first place. Have you thought about that? Maybe he's the one who originally financed the thing. It doesn't have to be a smooth corner back here, because, well, you won't really see it, so it's fine to just have it like that, just so that if you're looking back this way you can see that there is actually a road there. But I am quickly going to put in the kind of wider, broad stopping lines. I'm going to layer them 4 deep here, because of perspective again, because if you're looking at it from back here, so that you can actually see it a little bit maybe. Yep, I can guess his favorite cheese. I did too. Watching game dev, ghostly atmosphere was always appreciated a lot. I did like the atmosphere of it, yes. And your last stream, it went so well. It did. It's just, as a whole, I wasn't making progress on the game, and I wasn't able to stream the fun parts of game development. Instead, I was just streaming the tedious stuff, getting distracted by chat, and then not even making progress in that, spending, who knows, like, what was it, like 3 or 4 streams just making a simple brick texture. And at that rate, there was just no way of the game really going anywhere, and just felt like it was being dragged out to do nothing. But if I did it again, if I streamed game dev again, it would be different. Ooh, actually, maybe one of those with the washing might look nice. Stuff like that. Yeah, and then as you're looking back this way, although that is... ideally I'd like something a little bit taller here, although this one might work well somewhere. I don't know. Actually, maybe on the opposite side of the road, because there are lower buildings in front of it, so that might work. Probably a little bit of a bigger gap. How about this one? That seems more like what I wanted height-wise, even if the design itself might be a little modern. You're not really going to notice. You're just going to see the gradient, the height gradient going up like that. And that is what I had intended. Yeah, now this is much more like what I wanted. The kind of feeling-wise, because as you're coming in now, it still feels like the railroad has made this broad impact in the city as it's carved its way to the station. It feels much larger and more important. If the wall had just come along the tracks there with the buildings there, then it wouldn't have felt as impactful. Maybe I can use one of these buildings back here, moved into the ground a bit, although that's probably going to be a bit too tall. Or just over here. Well, maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? Ah, but the sides of this... don't really want that side. Although... perhaps... No. No. That blocks the skyline too much. Yeah, I wanted you to be able to already see the peaks of the skyscrapers as you're coming down from basically around the corner, if the render distance would cooperate. Although this, on the other hand, I think would be a great addition over here. because we've already got tall buildings there. Plus, it would give a little bit more of a back alley feeling because of the shape, to indicate that there is actually a road on the far side of it. And that gives another little nice step height-wise, transitioning over to the other buildings back there. We just need something in here. Save. Oh, we've already gone past midnight, so I suppose I'll get a thumbnail now. And then we'll continue here tomorrow. I think we actually made a good bit of progress despite being distracted. Yeah, this already looks much more complete. Even though it's of course not finished yet, but you can see where it's going. Put all these buildings over here to actually make the skyline look how I want it to. Even managed to make the skyline over here, and I don't even think that I need to layer the buildings there at all, because you can't really look through them here. Even from all the way back here at the station, you can't really look through them. Maybe those two, but that's I mean, I'm probably going to put buildings in here anyway. And then as you're coming over here, yes, having roads going off between the buildings might make this look a little bit more realistic, but again, you're really never going to see that back there. Plus, well, I guess that's it. You're not really going to see it back here. Although I could have a little road going off there. Like I'll tell you what, I'll do that. I will do that very, very quickly. It'll just take a moment. Don't even need to add any sort of medium stripes or anything like that. I just need to cut the spline. Come on. And this needs to be straightened. So do the stripes. And I'll quickly add in kind of the broad stripe there. The stopping line, again, I'll make it at least 4 thick. Let's do 5 because it's further away. And a little bit of texture just along there. Just for good measure, let's put a solid double yellow going along the middle of this. Just so that if you do fly back here to have a look, you can actually see a little bit more detail. Yeah, that does actually add quite a bit. Okay, so yeah, I do think we made a lot of progress today. Tomorrow, well, we've only really got this little bit to do. So tomorrow we'll continue filling in a little bit of space with buildings. We'll finish putting in the road connection along here, and then we'll put buildings along this little bit here as well. And I think that seems somewhat attainable if I'm not distracted too much. Anyway, thumbnail. Sorry, I was getting distracted. I'll read chat in a bit, don't worry. Let's have a look. Is that going to be a good thumbnail? I suppose that's going to be an alright thumbnail. Anyway, chat. Just gonna read chat again, then I'll end the stream. So well, I remember that marmot that would appear in the treehouse from Ghost Event. Yeah. I mean, like, for example, I'm not going to go into great detail because it's already midnight for me. But, for example, I mean that's such a good example because I had so many plans of what I wanted to do with that guy in the little elevated hut, and whether in a mental interconnected web of how game mechanics could interplay, where depending on whether he's actually visible in the window or not, you could maybe trade some items if you placed them somewhere where you would see him appear, and then if he did appear and you checked back later when he's gone, then the items would be gone as well, but there might be something else put there in its place, or something like that. I mean, but then those are all mechanics that would require quite a bit of work to do pre-stream, off-stream, especially with chat being as lovely and active as it is. And that just wasn't the case. And so, like I said, I wasn't making progress with it, and that's why I got unmotivated. I remember Mr. Snipes was there for it and said that the hut creature looked like it would carry your groceries, I believe. I do think so, yeah. Yes, bus prototype, space one, train tracks one, probably the space one. You could make you could make the trailer coaster on stream and record trailer bits on stream. I don't know. Wait, isn't that a thing? Shotty cheese? Maybe. I've confused it. Brick texture streams. Chat being distracting? Pff. Yeah. It was fun, but I would just repeat myself if I continue talking in that sentence. Brick by brick, talk by tick. This is how we click. Oh, is that an actual song? Ah, I see. Never heard that before. Yep. Distractions? You can always count on chat. Yep, raise up. Yes. Lowers hand, closes lid, calls lawyer. Yeah. Sure, I'd also suggest to have another road coming off the far side of the park in the center. Over there? Well, I mean, the idea is that there are roads going between these buildings. And I suppose it would look more realistic more immersive if there was like a road coming off back there and you could actually look down it for quite a ways. You're right. I mean, the reason why I didn't do it like that was because then I'd have to make the put buildings along it, basically. But let me just quickly have a little look at what this would do to the skyline. It wouldn't be too difficult to do that. Yeah, you're right. Having a few more buildings going along back that way would make it look more realistic. I'll quickly paint on the texture so I don't forget. Probably to about there. That's something for me to do tomorrow. Thanks for the company this evening. You're welcome. Today, buildings around the local city park. Tomorrow, the world. Yeah. Indeed. California, baby. This has an LA feel. It does, partially, yeah. And it is supposed, like, this area is supposed to be more southern-ish. But, yeah, that's good. It does a bit with the palms. Would be such a pity if you'd proper abandon Ghostly Venture or revisit it. Yeah, I don't think that I'll abandon it. I haven't finished a game project since Living Art, and that was already a long time ago now. And so I just want to... The next game that I work on, I really want to be sure that I'll actually finish and stay motivated for it. And I'm just not sure that Ghostly Venture would be that game at this point. I've done so much work on it already. Not that much work. On Ghostly Venture, we were really still in the beginning, mostly though. Moving with a tree-ish median in the center. I don't think so, no. Getting kind of crazy taxi to Small Apple. Interesting. Anyway. Yeah, later today, good point. Anyway, I don't know if I saved already, so let's save again. Luckily they fixed the crash where it crashed if you tried to save when you had already saved. But anyway, good night until later. Bye-bye, everybody. 25 plus streams worth of work. Well, that's not entirely true. That's not entirely true. Good night. Yes, good night, everybody. Abastra, if you're still here as well. Mr. Snipes, Code Monkey, all of you. Good night. See you same time, same place tomorrow. Yes. Bye.